For responsible AI delivery, you don't just need a team. You need a team that's ready and accountable, ready to manage risk, ready to prove oversight, and ready to show their work. Today, we break down exactly what your delivery setup should look like before a single line of model code gets written. But why should you even care about that? Well, the EU AI Act has fines of up to 35 million or 7% of revenue kicking in on the 2nd of August 2025. So this video is important if you deliver AI solutions in enterprise organizations. But please don't just build responsibly to avoid fines. AI is shaping decisions about who gets care, who gets hired, who gets custody, and even the medical treatment you get. These systems affect people's lives, including those you love. If you're building AI, especially in the enterprise, you're not just shipping an app. You're laying the foundations for systems the world is going to depend on. Build responsibly because this work shapes the kind of world you, your family, and in fact, all of humanity will have to live in, not just because we're scared of the EU AI Act fines. Hey friends, I'm Ahmed. I help professionals deliver enterprise AI solutions that help, not harm. In this series, we're applying the EU AI Act to the 10 steps of the AI delivery lifecycle, one step at a time. So we can each do our part to responsibly build the world we want to live in. So let's go through those steps. In step 1, we covered framing the problem. In step 2, we defined the use case. In step 3, we assessed the data and its readiness. In step 4, we covered the solution design and approach. And today, in step 5, we are covering the team formation and delivery readiness. And by the end of this video, you will learn why you need to think about the EU AI Act when forming your team, the 3 core roles that I recommend you have in place and why. And also at the end, I will give you a checklist to help you assess delivery readiness for high-risk AI systems. For those who are new, I always use the AI Act Explorer. Link is on the screen and in the description below. So I would say there are essentially 3 key articles that apply to this team formation stage. So let's go through each of these. So Article 9 is the risk management system. You've already initiated this in step 1. Now we need to show it's active and the documentation process has begun with defined roles, review cycles, and escalation paths. Then we've got Article 14, which is human oversight. And here we need to be thinking about oversight responsibilities and assigning these ideally before model development starts, especially for high-risk systems. We're covering that next week. But this is not about operational monitoring yet. It's about enabling it by design. So if you want to know more about model development, then make sure you tune in for next week's session. Then Article 17 is about quality management system and making sure we've got this operationalized before model development actually begins. So now we know why this matters and which parts of the EU AI Act apply. Let's shift gears and get practical. What exactly do you need to ensure you have the right roles and your right delivery setup? So as I said, there are 3 main roles that I recommend you focus on when you are setting up your team from a compliance perspective. So the first role is your delivery lead. Now in some organizations, they may call them a Scrum Master, a delivery manager, a delivery lead, a project manager, a technical project manager. It almost doesn't matter. They manage the delivery process, coordinate cross-functional input, and hold the overall responsibility for the traceability, documentation, and lifecycle integrity, as well as risk management. So they ensure that they've got a documented delivery lifecycle in place and that it's structured, it's reviewable, and it's traceable. Then they also make sure that you've got cross-functional compliance. What do we mean by that? Well, what we actually mean is that the compliance spans across technical, legal, and business responsibilities, and these are integrated and synchronized. And then we want to make sure we've got lifecycle traceability and version control across the lifecycle. We've got to be able to link our evidence back to the decisions we made, the models, and the risks that we've documented as required by the EU AI Act. Okay, so now let's move on to the next role, which is the technical lead or AI engineer. Again, you may call these by different names, but essentially the emphasis is the same. This is the person that takes lead on the technical decision making and ensures that the approach is compliant. Here, we want to make sure that we take the risks, we embed the risk mitigations into the overall technical design, which is related to Article 9. We make sure that we have documented the model and data decisions. This is Article 10 and I think 13. And then, last but not least, we have human oversight, which is Article 14, which ensures compliance by building explainable interfaces and control levers into the actual system. Okay, now moving on to the third role, which is more a responsibility and compliance role. And this is a role, not necessarily has to be an individual. It could be a hat that another team member actually wears. And over here, it's about making sure conformance is active during delivery and not left until the actual end. And the key is that this someone must guide the team on the legal obligations, ensure documentation and processes are aligned with the Act, and prepare the team for internal conformity or any external review. So this should be somebody that understands both the delivery and has a sense of, understands the power of this intelligence that we're building, but also somebody who sufficiently cares about the world and humanity and wants us to respect and yield this power very carefully. Maybe someone like you who is actually watching this video. So if that is you, what are the 3 things you need to do? So the first thing is we need to make sure that you interpret and translate the legal requirements into delivery action. Secondly, we want to make sure that we are ready for any internal or external kind of assessment. And this is where you're overseeing documentation, making sure you're ready for any kind of assessment and that you've built it in to the actual delivery process. Remember, it's about responsible delivery, not just about passing an audit. As I said before, this is critical for all of our futures, that we really do build AI responsibly so that we're building on solid foundations and we all build a safe future for us and our future generations. Next is around risk and quality management systems. We want to make sure these are live, auditable, and supported by the right kind of evidence. Okay, so now those are the key roles and some of the key things that I think we need to cover. Now what I want to do is I want to talk about what do you need to do to make sure that you're ready for your delivery. So the first thing you want to make sure is your delivery lifecycle is really clearly documented. We want to make sure we've got our risk management system, which is active now and has started. You've got the defined roles, the review cycles, and you've got the escalation parts. Then we've got our quality management system that's operationalized. On top of that, we've got the key roles and oversight responsibilities have been assigned. The teams have been trained on the EU AI Act obligations. Please make sure that you are subscribed to this channel because I've got a lot of new material that's coming through to going to help you with this particular point. And we have basic incident management and mechanisms in place as well. And also, last but not least, making sure that we have confirmed the earlier steps that we covered in the AI delivery lifecycle around problem framing, use case definition, data and solution design. And we've got conformity across all these different earlier steps that we covered in previous videos. Okay, so here's a question for you. If regulators audited your AI delivery team tomorrow, would they see a structured system of accountability or a group of individuals just doing their best? Right, so to recap, the EU AI Act doesn't tell you how to structure your team, but what it does do is it sets expectations that you can't really meet without one. So you need clearly defined responsibilities, competent personnel, and active human oversight. And if your AI team is ad hoc or unclear on ownership, you're at risk. And this is about setting your team up to deliver AI you can trust and defend. So this is step 5 of our 10-part series covering the EU AI Act and how to apply it to the real-world AI delivery so that you can build responsible and safe applications. Next week, we're stepping into the engine room, model development, and this is where your AI system really starts to take shape. But here's the catch. Model experimentation without the right structure can put you and your delivery, and I suppose all of us, at risk. So we'll cover how to balance innovation with control and what good model development looks like when compliance actually matters. So hit subscribe and the bell notification, and I will see you next week. Take care. Goodbye.